Welcome, everyone. Today we will be sharing our insights on talent management based on a collaborative project between Medtronic and Bethel University's MBA program. Bethel MBA students involved in this project include Meg Hintz, Hunter Enkos, Jason Norman, and myself, Angelika Barth. We will begin our presentation with insights from our interview with an HR executive at Medtronic, a leading healthcare technology company. We will incorporate research and MBA resources to share our recommendations for improving talent management at Medtronic and how we plan to use the lessons learned from the interview in our own professional lives. We hope this presentation strengthens organizational leadership and inspires effective talent development practices.
We decided to interview someone from Medtronic, a local Fortune 100 company started right here in the Twin Cities. Medtronic's mission is to alleviate pain, restore health, and extend life. They unite a global team of more than 90,000 passionate people. Engineering is at their heart. In fact, in 1949, when the company was founded by Bakken and Hermansley, they started as a medical electronic repair business, which they called Medtronic. The early employees worked out of a garage and called themselves the Garage Gang. The organization became famous in 1957 when they invented the first battery-powered pacemaker after severe storms knocked power out across Minneapolis. 1 year later, they had turned this invention into implantable pacemaker that we know today. Throughout the company's history, there have been many inventions, but the pacemaker is still what they're most famous for. They are also deeply committed to giving back to their community and honoring engineers and inventors through multiple foundations and charitable societies. Today's core values of innovation, diversity, integrity, and responsibility are in alignment not only with how they operate their company, but also how the founding of these charities live those values out across the world.
So our group decided to interview Annie Helene, Director of Talent Management at Medtronic. Annie has worked 9 months at Medtronic after a 19-year stint at Target and was recently promoted to Director of Talent Management at Medtronic a few weeks ago. With 2 members of our team working in healthcare, 1 member in finance, and 1 in education, we were all interested to learn more about talent management at a leading innovative healthcare technology company. There is significant crossover between group members and their roles in the healthcare industry as providers and Medtronic's large-scale role in developing state-of-the-art medical technology with effective talent management under Annie's guidance. Annie works for Medtronic, of which has its headquarters in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This allows all group members to gain a perspective of large-scale talent management methods in an economic and geographic setting they are accustomed to and hoping to enter professionally. Annie has influence as a result of her role in numerous departments, including her own in HR, also engineering, and R&D.
As we were preparing for the interview, we easily came up with dozens of questions on the topic of human resources, but we quickly realized that we needed to respect the interviewee's time and focus the scope of our topics. We limited ourselves to a couple of questions per team member, and we tried to stay close to the primary focus of our interviewee's role. Dr. Parolini confirmed the need for focus in her feedback of our team's discussion. We ultimately settled on 4 primary topics: hiring, firing, and employee concerns to investigate how much time and effort these require and the impact they have on organizational priorities. A second was leadership development and recruitment to explore the identification and training of future leaders and the role of technology in these endeavors. Third was talent versus culture balance to discover how leading companies balance their top talent and organizational culture. And final was top talent behavior and fostering innovation to uncover the most essential skills, traits, and backgrounds for success and how technology and time have shaped their evolution.
Annie shared insights on what qualifies as top talent at Medtronic and how the company strategically aligns hiring with anticipated future needs. Similar to our MBA coursework, she emphasized that top talent consistently demonstrates key behaviors, including curiosity and an open mindset, both of which are considered non-negotiable. She also highlighted the importance of effective communication, particularly in catering to Gen Z. To engage this generation, information should be delivered in bite-sized pieces and at an accessible reading level, roughly equivalent to fifth grade comprehension, she says. Drawing from Robert Verganti's TED Talk, Annie reinforced that true innovation stems from understanding what is meaningful to people. This requires deep insight into the end user and an overall commitment to the company's meaningful mission. At Medtronic, talent management integrates new ideas into performance reviews, showing the organization's commitment to adaptability and employee contributions. Medtronic also employs Korn Ferry assessments and 360-degree feedback to evaluate leadership potential. This approach aligns with managerial research from the Journal of Applied Psychology, which suggests that social networks influence managers' perceptions of employees and their willingness to promote them. Finally, Annie connected top talent behaviors to servant leadership, drawing parallels to a biblical perspective. She described how Medtronic values employees who go beyond their immediate teams, adopting a "how can I use my skills to help others" mindset. This perspective fosters ethical behavior and ensures alignment with the company's overall business strategy.
Annie detailed hiring practices to be quite standard, with applicable leadership team members performing interviews, utilizing applicable DEI components, and taking up to 1 to 2 months to perform the entire process. Medtronic's use of leaders interviewing new hires with similar professional backgrounds assists with hiring of more efficacious candidates to the roles they are hiring, which is supported by Berger and Berger 2018 text. Cascio and Berger text support the use of the DEI component to the hiring and employment process in relation to providing organizations more strength in their workforce from a cultural fluency perspective. According to the Berger text and Cascio LinkedIn video, benefits are influenced by a 1 to 5 scale with emphasis on employees driving their self-assessments. With a high results and performance-driven culture, Medtronic wants to help individuals recognize how their performance applies to the entire organization's performance. Teaching managers to ladder up local performance goals to organizational goals is the practical application of this. Use of the 1 to 5 scale is consistent with Berger text findings regarding most American companies utilizing a 1 to 5 rating scale for performance appraisal. This is contradictory as compared to the Merck & Co. Incorporated case study, in which saw many performance problems from use of a 1 to 5 performance assessment scale. This, according to the Murphy case study there, this organization found struggles with placing the employee performance assessments on the shoulders of their managers, as opposed to what Medtronic is doing by giving non-leadership employees roles more independence with use of this scale. This strategy is also reciprocated in employee encouragement for more work-related independence for their roles, let alone their self-evaluation of them, especially in a tech giant like Medtronic with an aging population and concurrent constant advances in technology, according to the Hecklau 2016 text. The most pressing work environment concern is pay and promotion universally amongst employees. The strongest need is employees wanting to know their managers are attuned to their development goals and opportunities most applicable to them, similar to the Laura Wolin and ARPCO Incorporated case study from Gentile 1992, in which she is contemplating recommendation of one of her product managers for a position he would be effective in while simultaneously continuing his professional growth with ARPCO.
In a reading from this course titled HR Goes Agile, Capelli and Tavis identified many characteristics currently seen in Medtronic's human resources approach to talent development, focusing on performance appraisals, coaching, working with and across teams, new compensation models, recruitment, and learning and development. And Ryan Roslansky, a leader in the embracing of AI in modern workforces, talks about how talent management these days is one in which leaders must foster a culture of learning, not just to boost AI literacy, but to build great soft skills like leadership, problem solving, and to create a workforce that's resilient and agile in the face of change. Medtronic really embraces these ideals. Recently, they've introduced a new leadership development framework and annual review format to help them better identify and reward high performers, as well is doing extensive training with all levels of employees on how to use frequent conversations to grow talent and to identify growth areas in individuals and teams. They've taken a lot of time to make sure everyone understands these new procedures and policies. Medtronic even view employees leaving the company for new opportunities as a good thing and often welcome former employees back into new roles. Annie said this is one of the benefits of having multiple Fortune 500 companies in the Twin Cities area. Rather than seeing other companies as competitors, they encourage their employees to see these as opportunities to grow new skills that they can bring back and to make Medtronic better. Medtronic also offers many opportunities for lateral moves within the organization as well as promotions from within. They believe in developing skills and wisdom in their employees to strengthen the mission and retain talent through new experiences as well as competitive compensation. When HR is rolling out changes, they always address the question from the employee's point of view. Employees want to know, what's in it for me? And HR has focused on clear communication to them. Annie exemplified this by sharing that she always asks herself, when I'm communicating with employees, I wonder, could my 11-year-old understand this? And if not, what can I do to communicate more clearly? They really want to ensure that everyone understands what is expected and where they're going so that there can be unity and clarity.
Whether it is due to teams that we have led or teams that we have participated on, we recognize that it can be really challenging to find good talent. As I was reading Berger and Berger, I found myself nodding along as I was reading their explanation of how talent matters to boards of directors, customers, investors, and other stakeholders. However, my interest really grew as they transitioned into describing the tension that can reside between talent and organizational culture. They described a balance that must be maintained, and they even went as far to say that talent is not all that matters. I was keenly interested in exploring this topic further and to hear if Medtronic has a secret sauce for balancing the needs of highly talented individuals and the organizational culture at large. Our interviewee, Annie, did not disappoint, but she also did not answer my question in the way that I had expected. Instead of talking about the tension between talent and culture, or the work that Medtronic does to maintain the teetering balance, she spoke about the work that her team does to come alongside business leaders to understand their strategies, so they can better support them. In doing so, HR, leaders, and talent all co-own the responsibility of maintaining the culture. She spoke of the high level of comprehension that her team is required to maintain of each business's strategies and the ebb and flow that she experiences over time. She admitted that they are not perfect in this pursuit, but for her, the key is building and utilizing relationships in strategic ways. This observation is corroborated by the research of Harrison and Bazzi, who published an article about aligning organizational culture and strategic human resource management. Through their research, they demonstrated that organizational culture is an integral factor of strategic human resource management, and although one does not exactly control the other, each has an influence on the other.
Gary Hamel describes management, the process of bringing people together, as one of the greatest inventions of the past century. After our interview with Annie, it's clear that Medtronic's talent management strategy reflects this principle, evolving at an exponential rate to meet the needs of both employees and the organization. Like many large companies, Medtronic fosters engagement through biannual employee surveys, continuous feedback channels, and quarterly initiatives that prioritize alignment and idea sharing. Talent management recommendations. One key recommendation is reverse accountability, where employees can rate their managers. Research shows that employees who feel valued and supported are not only more engaged, but also significantly more productive. Another recommendation comes from the books Made to Stick by Heath and Heath and Berger's Talent Management Handbook. Storytelling is a powerful tool. It can inspire, boost morale, reinforce company culture, coach, and celebrate excellence. Page 124 in Berger. By capturing and curating more employee stories, Medtronic can enhance its brand awareness, strengthen its company culture, and create more opportunities for meaningful engagement in the workplace. Personal takeaway. In my own professional journey, I plan to expand my digital social network in an intentional way by engaging with more industry professionals across generations and organizations. This will not only help me build valuable connections, but also influence my future decision making, ensuring I make well-informed decisions that balance the company culture with business objectives while maintaining the company's competitive advantage.
Our primary recommendations from the hiring, firing, and employee concerns interview topic were regularly evaluating performance assessment processes and diligently updating job boards, with the primary takeaway being the significance of cross-functional roles. Diving into that a little bit more, it is best to utilize leaders with professional backgrounds similar to positions hoping to be filled by potential new hires with improved consistency. As a human resource leader, using a numeric ranking scale for performance assessment must be guided by employers to elevate emphasis on employees becoming more autonomous in their own evaluation and performance enhancement. This will drive not only their professional development, but that of their ability to assist with organizations being able to meet their goals. Leadership roles within a company related to talent management must develop a working knowledge of all jobs within an organization, including the responsibilities and talent efficacies for each of these roles. This will allow for increased talent management abilities with use of job openings or creations for rewarding inter-organizational talent for good performance. This measure for change is also true for keeping up with talent from external sources of skilled applicants. Diligence must also be had with updating job boards with company growth to meet the demands of this growth with hiring of the highest quality external talent or potential talent, as well as keep external employee experience exchange avenues open for lateral employment opportunities to grow an organization's homegrown talent. I will use the above stated information in my clinical physical therapy role by enhancing my knowledge of each of the roles in the large healthcare organization hierarchy. This will improve my knowledge of assigning appropriate interviewers to my organization's hiring processes for numerous different roles. I will also increase my ability to compare my organization's relative talent strengths to that of our competition by performing more market research in my leadership role, giving me improved clarity on our own gaps in different departments. This will further allow me to create new roles in the organization and efficaciously assess my employees' performance to best meet these gaps.
Medtronic has always been about embracing the future and what could be, and they are using AI similarly. They developed their own internal AI called Medtronic GPT. Medtronic GPT holds all of the information and databases of the system. With all their policies and procedures, it allows them to communicate and be on the same page, even though they are a global organization. HR has been using it for employee self-reflection and supervisor feedback for reviews. They're encouraging their teams to utilize this tool as much as possible. Their Medtronic GPT is helping teams create better SMART goals. And this is a good example of Ryan Roslansky's point in his AI research that teams should embrace AI to help them focus more on human-to-human collaboration. Medtronic GPT helps with international communications and keeps the mission and vision united across a global company, as everyone is using the same interface in their roles, making them more efficient, cohesive, and able to advance objectives more smoothly. Annie shared that 51% of Gen Z are making career decisions based on TikTok videos that they see. Medtronic has taken note of this and are working through how they can use social platforms like TikTok to communicate who they are and what opportunities young people could have if they join this organization. The organization I work for, Hope Academy, is trying to embrace AI in an education setting. We just did an all-staff training discussing how we can use AI to help us be more efficient and more thorough in our planning, in our goal setting, and in tracking what we have accomplished. We're also having discussions on how to introduce and use AI wisely with our students so that they are still learning the important skills of critical thinking and expressing themselves, but also we don't want them to be afraid of these tools, as they will certainly be using them for the future.
In 2005, Walt Disney Pictures released a film titled Sky High, starring Kurt Russell and Kelly Preston. The movie follows a group of teenagers who are enrolled in a special high school for students with superpowers, and the school is hidden in the clouds, thus the name Sky High. One of the freshman class's first activities is to get sorted into groups of heroes and sidekicks, with the heroes receiving all the praise and glory, while the sidekicks are taught to support the heroes. They do a great job of depicting how unglamorous a sidekick's job can be. I entered this project looking for some secrets on how to be a heroic leader, or on how to be a champion for strategic talent, but I came away with a much more different and broader understanding of strategic talent management. I entered the project looking for the tension between culture and talent as if there was some cosmic battle to find, but I came away with a better understanding of how to come alongside people and to build and utilize relationships in strategic ways. That is much more like the sidekick than the hero example I was looking for, but I'm okay with it because I realized how well it aligns with the lesson we are taught in the Gospel of John, chapter 13. In that passage, Jesus grabs a basin of water along with a towel and he washes his disciples' feet. Jesus provides another example that it is better to serve than to be served. In the future, I will be seeking out those strategic partnerships and relationships, not as an accumulation of power, but as an extension of service. Through better listening and understanding, I can contribute to a healthy organizational culture, but I won't do it alone, and I will be more keenly aware of how organizational culture hangs in the balance.